Okay. I really need to stop saying okay at the beginning of my videos. I think it's more to get me ready and get you pumped. There we go. That's why I say okay. So the next part is the steps for the calculator. With this here, you have 11 steps, and once you keep doing it, it gets a lot easier. But do note that these buttons that are they're red on my original document, but these are buttons that you're going to push, like enter, linreg, or options. But the first thing you need to do is on your calculator, you need to press the second button, and then this is a 0. I accidentally hit the dash button and didn't pay attention. Find the diagnostic on and press enter. So what you're going to do is the first thing on your calculator, zoom out here, is you're going to hit on, and then you're going to hit second 0, not the dashed, and I put it in parentheses, and I don't know what I was thinking. I was hitting the 0 button. And you're going to scroll down until you find diagnostic on. You can get there faster with alpha, but I'm just going to keep arrowing down. And once you get to diagnostic on, you're going to hit enter. So I'll zoom back in here. You're going to hit enter. Let's see. Where's my light at? Turn off my light. Oh, that did not help any. There we go. So diagnostic on, we're going to hit enter, and enter again, and that's done. As long as your calculator never dies, this will never go away. If not, you're going to have to do it again. The information is here. Make sure you change this to be press second button, and then that's a 0. Find diagnostic on and press enter. The 0 button means to find catalog. I should just type catalog in. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to follow these directions of pressing the stat button. It's a button that says stat. We're going to choose edit. We're going to clear the list. We're going to enter data in. We're going to then press stat. Use the right arrow to get to calc. Choose linreg that looks like this. Going to press enter. Pay attention to what comes up. Make sure what we see. You better get R squared and R. If you don't get R squared and R, then you did not do the diagnostic on. We're going to write the equation down, and we're going to write the R value down. After that, and I'm going to walk through this, I promise. After that, you can make the prediction equation. So you already made it, but the easiest way to make your prediction equation is to do the first 2 steps, or you can do this bunch of work down here. I'm going to do the first 2 steps. I'm not going to walk through this because this, to me, there's no point to it, and you don't need to see what's in your graph or match your scatter plot to this because we never ask you to graph your line of best fit or your prediction equation. So just do the first 2 steps, and then you're going to interpret your correlation coefficient. Your correlation coefficient is R. We're going to write down, and then we're going to do strong and accurate or not strong and accurate. So I'm going to walk through that process. Those are your shorthand notes. Once you keep doing it, it gets a lot easier. So the first thing you have to do is the table shows the approximate percent of students who sent applications to 2 colleges in various years since 1985. This is how many years since 1985. You're going to draw a scatter plot. So on a scatter plot, in order to make data work for what you got to pay attention to what's going on. So your scatter plot will always be in the first quadrant. Normally we give you a quadrant that you have to graph in. You're going to take the 0 years since 1985. So this is going to be 0, and we have to go to 15. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, could I do ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I could do 15. Yeah. We'll do 15. We'll just have one dot that's off the graph. That's okay. We'll go by ones. So 1, 2. So this would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and then 15 is going to be here, off the graph. the data up here, you got 20, 18, 15, 15, 14, 13. So I would say every one needs to be 2 because there's at least 10 squares here. So I would say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So this is going to be the most estimated values, but that way I can at least do that. I could probably have gone every third, but I just would rather err on the side of caution and do 2. So when you plot a point, this is your x, this is your y, 0. So I go 0 and I go to 20 and I plot a point. Let me get a different color. Okay, the next one is 3 and then my number is 18. So 6, my number is 15. So halfway. 9 and it's 15 again. So halfway. 12 and it's at 14. Wow. And then 15, it's at 13. So 15 and it's at 13. So roughly here. So you can see my data. It has a negative slope. It's not the best slope, but it's a scatter plot, so try to be as accurate as possible. But you could see that there was a line that if I connected it and got my data, that would roughly look like something like this. Now, I'm not saying that's accurate because I don't know the slope of that line, but I'm going to find that equation. So the first thing is drawing your scatter plot. The pink line you don't need. It's not needed. It's kind of red in the video, but it's not needed. What we are going to do is we're going to see if we can find the prediction equation that would model what this line could be. And once again, you don't have to draw that on there, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just showing you that's what we're going to try to find. So what you're going to do is the first thing is you're going to hit the stat button. It's right here underneath the delete. Hit stat. Then you're going to hit 1 for edit or enter, and you're going to enter your data in. X's are L1, Y's are L2. So you're going to go 0, enter, 3, enter, 6, enter, 9, enter, 12, enter, 15, enter. Then I'm going to hit the right arrow over, and I'm going to enter the next data in. So 20, 18, 15, 15, 14, 13. Two things. Make sure your data matches. So make sure that these bars here line up on the same line, and then re-look at the point that 0 goes to 20, 3 goes to 18, and double check this out, because if you type this wrong, you will get the wrong prediction equation, you'll get the wrong R value, you'll get the wrong everything. So just like, don't mess up. I don't know how that's going to work out for grading wise. I got to ask that question, but I really want you guys to be accurate as possible, so double check these values like 300 times in a span of like 3 seconds. So once these bars are lined up, then what you're going to do again is you're going to hit the stat button. Okay, so you're going to hit stat, and then you're going to hit the right arrow to calc, and you're going to go down to 4, hit enter, or just type the number 4 and it'll choose it out. The reason why X has to go in L1 is because this is already set up and I don't want you guys to have to change it. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to go down and hit enter until you get to calculate and hit enter, and then wait for what pops up. If you turn your diagnostic on, your R squared and R value should be here. So this equation says y equals ax plus b. That's a linear model. It's in slope-intercept form. It's in mx plus b. A is here, b is here. You literally take those numbers and plug them in. And then you're going to write down the R value. So what you do is on a question, write your prediction equation. So you take those numerical values, okay, and you literally write them out. I'm sorry, I am really not left-handed. If I was, it would be easier. So it would be y equals, and you write down all the numbers. Unless we ask you to round, and literally I just tell you to write down everything exactly as it says, even if it says round. 0, 4, 7, 6, B, not B, sorry, X. I wrote down B, I meant to write down X. and then you're going to do B, which is, I'm going to move this over here, plus, if it's a minus, just put a minus sign, 19.190476619. Write down the whole equation. Correlation coefficient is R. This is R. So you're going to write down the number exactly as you see it, negative 0.9518123116. I don't round it. I always leave it as is. Interpret the results of the correlation coefficient. First and foremost, this has a negative. Correlation because it's negative correlation, and then it is strong and accurate. If you go back up here, if it's between -1 and -0.9 or 1 and 0.9, it is modeled to be strong and accurate or not strong and accurate. Pretty much just add the word strong and accurate, or it's a strong and accurate, or a strong accurate negative correlation. Apologize, that is very blurry. Come on, focus. Autofocus. It's supposed to be autofocusing. I'm sorry, it's not autofocusing. Last but not least, you need to use your prediction equation to predict the percent of students who will send applications to 2 colleges in 2010. So literally what you're going to do is you're going to figure out how many years since 2010 is 1985, or from 1985. So what you're going to do on your calculator is you're going to take 2010 minus 1985 and get 25. So 25 equals X. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that value of negative 0.4476190476 times 25, and then we're going to add that 19.1904619. The cool thing is you can do this equation in your calculator that you predicted and find the table, and that's the second way, or I just literally plug it in. So I take the values and I type them in. So negative 0.4476190476. Oh shoot. 0. Negative 4.4761900476. 25 plus 19.1904619. I type it in my calculator, I hit enter, and I get the answer of 8. So it would be 8%. Whoops. So the homework for tonight, or the homework that is going to be your first assessment, is going to be this here. It's going to be problems number 2 and number 3. I will go over them on Monday. If you have questions, the thing that I always do is no matter what is here, I type it exactly in. So you'll see 1970. So my list will be 1970, 1980, 85, 90, 1995, all that. If you have something that has a question mark, you do not type it in. So this line here cannot be typed in. That's what you're solving for. That's the find this value prediction. So you stop here at 2002 and you type those numbers in. Type the numbers exactly as you see them. Do not do the whole year since this and everything else. Just literally type the values as you see them. Okay, and remember, anything that has a question mark, you don't type in. So you're going to predict at 2015 what's the median income. So, way that you do this, just to reiterate, okay, to start it, you're going to hit the stat button, you're going to hit edit, and then what you're going to do is you either can type over or arrow up here and you hit clear, enter, if you don't hit the clear button, and per se you hit the delete button, you delete it out of list. If you delete out a list, hit the stat button, hit 5, hit enter, stat, edit, and your list comes back. So I always just hit delete down here on these numbers. Oops. So I type actually over them, so I would go 1970, 1980, helps if I can actually type, 1985, 1990, and per se that was the end of my list. I would go delete, 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 delete until that bar comes back up. And the same thing with the other side. I type over and then hit delete at the end so I don't accidentally clear out my list, but once again, if you want to clear out this list, you hit clear at the top and then hit enter, and that will clear out your list. So you would type in 1970, 80, 85, and then these values. Do not put commas in there, just type the numbers as is. And then run through the program. So you hit stat, arrow over to calc. Once you type in that information, choose 4. So either arrow down to 4 and hit enter, or just type the number 4. Hit enter until you get down to calculate, and when you hit calculate, you'll get the answer. Because I haven't put any information in here, that's why it's not in there. And I'm getting an error. So if you get an error that says your data is wrong, so per se, I go stat and then calc 4, and I get an error that says dimension mismatch. That means something's wrong with your dimensions, meaning that these do not match in your list. So if you hit 2 and go to, it does not do what I want it to do. Sorry. Go to doesn't work. You have to hit stat and then edit. And then you'll see that your numbers are not lined up. That's why these bars have to be lined up. So it's like 47 or 48, then my bars are lined up. So that is your video. Once again, your homework will be problem number 2 and number 3 from your note packet. Make sure you reach out if you have questions.